What did the county buy from Perkins Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram?
A new pickup for the sheriff's
For the
department
sheriff's
for
department.
patrol.
Okay,
Yes.
right.
And actually, that was budgeted in 2021, but we were unable to secure a vehicle, and one came up, and so we snatched it up.
Had a heck of a time getting vehicles, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, yeah,
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
find them.
no, and you can't find them. That's the other part of it, yeah.
And one question.
Yes.
Check number 1478 to, I think, GT Independence.
That's the veterans program, run through adult services across the hall to help veterans with numerous items. A lot of times I see that they're home improvements or just issues that adult services has a contract with them to assure the veterans are taken care of.
Thank you for paying my daughter.
Somebody have any questions, more questions or comments they'd like to make?
I always liked it.
I entertain
Just
a motion,
I move to approve the consent agenda.
and I'll second that. All in favor say aye,
Aye.
all opposed same sign, motion carries. Any old business?
No, sir. Let's see, let's talk about January sales tax that we received in March of this year. I forgot my glasses, so this will be fun. Again, we saw an increase. If you look across January here, I'm gonna compare 2021 and 2022. Collected a little under $183,000 in sales tax for January. That's $13,000 more than what we collected in January of 2021. I wanted to pull last year's to see what our increase was comparing 2020 and 2021. And at that time, we had a 3.5 increase. So that kind of shows you we're still on the upward slope with sales tax. We had a fun conversation this morning trying to figure out the trend. We assume that everybody saves money after Christmas. That's why January tends to be our lowest sales tax collection month of the year. And then February and March, we really spike up, and we had an argument if it was Valentine's gifts or people using their tax returns. So depends on where you're at on the romance scale. So once again, we're doing well. And I'm gonna be confident and say we've only had 1 month of collection, but I bet we meet our budget. What's that? It's another thing you could edit out if I'm wrong. That's all I have to report unless there's questions on sales tax.
Do you have any questions on the sales tax?
Well, a lot of the major increases because of online shopping.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Getting
Yeah.
that tax.
That was huge.
That was huge.
As a shopper, it was painful, but sitting up here, it's kind of fun to watch, so.
Just want to remind everybody again that we will be closed on June 28th for all but election stuff and on November 8th for all but election stuff. We are starting up all of our, getting everything ready to be approved through the state, because that has to be certification is on the 29th of April. So we're gearing up already.
Did I cut you short?
It's okay.
What
You
did
can
you
come
say?
back to me.
Yeah, okay.
All good.
You have some more?
Well, I don't know if you're cutting that short now.
Okay.
Oh, no, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm
Hey,
good.
go ahead.
I feel like I'm
I'll
playing.
be cutting my
volleyball
signature all the
with
time
friend.
if I'm not careful.
Yeah, and we got you on each side.
Wow, okay.
Oh, so he's too far away.
That's right. He does
Reed
hand
was
signals
sitting over
too.
here.
Right.
Okay, Rob.
My turn next?
Yeah.
We had a lot of meetings the last couple of weeks, John and I have, but one of them that I really enjoyed, we had a security meeting with the state security people, all the emergency managers, bosses, and it was really interesting. They talked about cybersecurity and how things are going on now with the cybersecurity, with the fighting and everything else, and had an interesting conversation about gangs and motorcycle gangs. They were talking about how many of them there are in Colorado Springs now and how they're getting pretty violent. It was really, really interesting. and then they talked about how they could help out. One example was at the Arkansas Valley Fair. Our Danny Chavez has a trailer there, and they do all the security there, but how they could bring down other people if we needed to help with security, and how they help out throughout the state. It was really a good meeting. It was very informative, very interesting. So that was the one I enjoyed.
That was a good meeting.
It was a good meeting.
I don't want to cut it short now.
That's good.
Okay.
You still haven't let me finish.
I know.
Oh, well, okay. Well, you wanna finish?
No, you go and then I'll
Anybody
finish.
else? Okay, yeah, I had a pretty busy week as well with the meetings that Rob was just talking about. Monday, we had the Oakley meeting, and they're still continuing with the building at the landfill. They've had some issues with the weather, and it's just general cleanup now for the most part. We went through the walkthrough of the final on the hearing room. They finished it, and we signed off on it. They did an excellent job. It was really good people to work with. Went to the Lower Ark Conservation District meeting, and Jack Goble gave a good report, as well as Brett Moore. And they was also talking about the fire suppression ponds, and I guess Cleve Simpson is gonna be the one that gonna be looking into that for the most of the part. Let's see, I got the EMS council meeting, that and and TPR, went to TPR meeting, and a couple of discussions there were Highway 50 and 71, and the highway department is working with the railroad, so they're, who knows where that's going.
Every
I'm
time
sure
I
that's-
hear a siren,
Pardon?
every time I hear a siren and an ambulance going, I always figure, well,
That's,
It's like a,
71.
yeah, they
you
have
can
a,
drive right out there, cause you know it's gonna be
yeah,
there.
they have a
Yeah.
daily demolition derby right there on the,
Awful.
it's terrible, but anyway, I hope they get that taken care of. Also, they talked about putting some more passing lanes in from Rocky Ford north on 71 to the county line. So, and then they're gonna be working on some bridges over the North Lahana. And I still haven't got that, so I don't wanna straighten that out. I don't know if it's over the Arkansas River or the Canal Bridge, but I believe it's the Arkansas River Bridge. So, and it was a busy week, so getting ready for another one. Does anybody else have any comments?
It's Amy's turn.
Oh,
You
and again?
keep cutting her off.
I never finished. That's okay. It's all good.
What do you have?
I really don't have anything that exciting. That's the bad part after all of this anticipation. I've been working hard at continuing to turn over every rock for a funding source for our jail that needs to happen desperately.
Yeah.
Talked to the DOLA rep last week and had some really good meetings there and some suggestions. We're gonna have some difficult decisions coming forward. Also set through the congressional directed spending conversation with Senator Bennett's office and Senator Hickenlooper's office, where there's a possibility where we can apply for some money to go towards that project. The issue is timing. Sometimes Congress and the legislation takes a while to approve bills where this would be in Washington DC. Last year, I think there were 4 or 5 months late in even signing, and so then you have the federal government timing after that. So it makes me a little nervous to spend a lot of time on that application that they tell you about, last week, and it's due on April the 8th. So can you tell that I'm very thrilled about that one? But still, just looking at everything we can.
Did you ever hit up the Anschutz group?
No, that's a good idea. Thank
Because
you.
John used to get money from them.
Okay, thank you. Is that the same like Anschutz that own like the Broadmoor? Did it own? Did they own the Bronco Stadium that just almost went up in flames now?
No,
No, okay.
they do Budweiser,
But,
90%.
okay, you know what I could do is go to them and then go to Coors and say, do you know Anschutz is giving us a new jail? We could call it the Coors Light Detention Center.
There you go.
All right, Told you I was being creative. That's a big rock to turn over. That depends on who gives us the most money. We can have different wings. All right, I'm done now. Also had some great meetings between the admin side and of course the commissioners of the courthouse and the judicial side, as well as our sheriff's department and emergency manager. We meet, it used to be every month, but we're kind of moving to every other month to talk about courthouse security. Anything that we can do to make it safer for the constituents and our staff here. So that was a very productive meeting. We're gonna be looking at emergency procedures, revamping that, and making sure that our language on both sides of the courthouse is the same. It's almost like, they can use lockout, and we use secure, or lock down, and we use lock the door, whatever. I mean, I use the example of when there's a tornado warning and watch, sometimes I have to Google it to understand which one is which, and so that's kind of where we're at. So we're working on that. And the last thing I was going to talk about was the hearing room, as Commissioner Hostetler mentioned. That is complete. So if anybody would like to see it, I'd be happy to show it to you. It's a beautiful room. The judicial team is in charge of the furniture and furnishing it, so it's not ready to go yet. As you can imagine, furniture for that courtroom is probably in a barge, on a barge. So it will be a few months before it's actively used, but we're ready to go. We did our part. That's
Right.
what the
Yes.
best part. And on time and without change orders on budget. So adding an elevator to that project kind of messed that up just a tad. So that's all I have. I am done. I promise.
Did I mention that I went to EMS meeting, council meeting in Rocky Ford? I don't know if I mentioned that or not. The biggest part of that was they elected new officers, and they gave some really good reports on what's going on with the local fire departments and emergency management. And with that, does anybody else have any comments they'd like to make?
Questions on the calendar?
I just had a question for Rob about the Sabria meeting that we were at. Do you know, did that letter get composed and sent, or?
I have
do you
not.
know?
We haven't done one yet, we're going to, but,
No,
I know.
thought it was combined though, wasn't it?
Well,
supposed to be for
they're
all?
talking about it, yeah, combining it. Prowers County was getting something together, and then they were gonna send out an email, and they have not yet,
Okay.
so. In fact, I texted Ron yesterday, I was talking to him and asked him, and he said that they would have a meeting and then he would get back to me, so.
So just maybe something for Amy, as
Yes.
you look for dollars,
Yeah.
you might start participating in the Southeast Colorado Philanthropy Days,
Oh, okay.
because that's when all the major funders come to town.
Coors and instruments.
Coors and Schutz, Betcher, all of
Okay.
those folks.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. I've seen those emails and didn't understand that it would benefit the county. I was thinking smaller, so
So they
thank
do
you.
big ones.
Okay, thank you.
That's good enough, that's good news.
I'll check that out. Appreciate
Anybody
that.
else? Excuse me.
Adrian, you got anything to say?
We're going
Thank you
around
very
the
much,
room.
guys. I appreciate the opportunity.
Okay, with that, we are adjourned.
Thank you.